This is another Friday. I hope you've had a very wonderful week and you're ready for my Friday tonic. This is Learn with Joes, an academy of knowledge economy. And my name is Josephine, your digital professor. By now, you realize that every Tuesday, I teach on areas of my specialization, philosophy of religion and theology. I hold a doctoral degree in theological studies. But Fridays like this, I serve you what I call Friday tonic by talking on germane, important issues of life that are beneficial to our existence, to our life, to families, to children, to adults. There's nothing I speak on Friday that you do not gain something from it. I make sure it's very impactful, positively impactful to our lives. And this Friday is not just unusual, it's like it. Last Friday, I started a topic on how to build resilience, to be a resilient family. We know a lot of things are happening around us today, so many challenges, so many difficulties. It's only the strong that could stand for it. How do you become strong? How do you become resilient? Today, I'm going to go veer more into the social networking of building resilience. But before I continue, let's join Learn with Joes. I welcome you back. For those who are just tuning in or joining me, my name is Josephine. I'm your digital professor. And today's Friday, we are serving you Friday tonic, and I'm talking today how to be your resilience part 2, but most especially on the social networking. And if you're familiar with this, my channel, which is a knowledge economy, where people have in-depth learning of whatever topic I bring on. I like to show you pieces of presentation that you can follow as I speak, or I talk or teach. And today is not going to be different. So I want you to hold on as I show you or share with you. It's going to be a very short video, like I said, the pieces of presentation that I've presented for today's talk. I remember last Friday, I introduced this particular diagram to you, the pointing fingers. For those who are still saying, how do I build resilience? What is resilience? And I explained then, and I'm saying that again too, because when you think about resilience, you're thinking of optimism, self-belief, control of self, willingness to adapt to any situation so that you do not break down under any difficult challenge, willingness to be flexible, ability to be able to solve problems yourself or reach out to others to help you solve the problem, emotional awareness, social support, and even with it to a sense of humor that will make you laugh and remain joyful even though you are being challenged. We are talking about adaptability and learning to be adaptable. But this part 2, I'm talking more about the importance of social networks. Families have different social connections. We belong to different status. That is a fact, not a myth. Some families have a lot of social connections, others have only a few. But not every family has access to supportive social networks. Families can be isolated for many reasons, including, more young families than ever before are living far away from their extended families. They like to move away. You are starting afresh, a new family. You don't want to be encumbered by the older extension of the family. one spouse advises the other, let's move far away so that we can be alone, or we have alone, or kind of thing like that. And when you move away from extended family, you may need help to develop new support networks. Families struggling economically also may have limited access to transportation and tools for communication. You know, when you are suffering economically, you might not be able to have a Wi-Fi, you might not be able to buy data, or even on your telephone, on your cell phone. You might not be able to be so active on social media like Instagram, like Facebook, like Twitter, all those social networking that people use. You might not have access to them. Parents dealing with personal problems or children with developmental or behavioral disorders may be even too embarrassed or overwhelmed with this problem to seek the help they need. Social isolation is strongly connected to child maltreatment, because when you are alone and socially isolated, then you build up a kind of anger or stress, and the only person you could divert such anger or stress on are to your children. So it leads to maltreatment of children. So parents who feel alone have fewer options for handling problems appropriately, because they cannot ask for advice or assistance to get through difficult situations. Parents need information that will help, and I'm talking about practical things you can do to promote parental resilience, family resilience. You know, you need information that will help you to understand your children's developmental milestones, the reason behind that, your child's behavior, and techniques to be able to manage those behaviors and guide development. Parents who know what to expect and what to try are more likely to help their children develop optimally, less likely to use inappropriate responses based on anger or confusion. There are concrete support in terms of needs. I want you to know that. Meeting basic economic needs like food, shelter, clothing, and healthcare is essential for families to thrive. Families cannot thrive with these basic, essential economic needs. How can you survive without food, without water, without shelter, without clothing, without healthcare? So likewise, when families encounter a crisis such as domestic violence, mental illness, or job loss, adequate services and supports need to be in place to provide help for family members to get through this sort of crisis. So times of need don't occur only in families in poverty. When you say, oh, you have a special need or you have a time of need, it's not just only those who are poor that go through these times of need. All families have times of need, whether at the birth of a new child, health problems for parents or children, job loss, or any other change or crisis. Anybody can lose a job at any time. This time you are buoyant, you have jobs, you are working well. If tomorrow you are exiled or sacked from that job, things go bad and you are not getting another one on time, you enter into time of need. So mental illness, substance abuse, and domestic violence can happen in any family. Even very rich family, you find that some people who are tilted towards addiction, especially abuse of drugs, are from rich family. If you don't have money, you cannot even buy all this kind of drugs people are abusing, are using. You might not likely get so addicted to it. And that's why a lot of people lose a lot of money, because some of these things, heroin, cocaine, or some are expensive even to buy. So substance abuse and domestic violence can happen in any family. So parents struggling to meet their family's basic needs will not be able to focus on less immediate concerns like positive discipline, and enhancing their child's development. Rather, they will use negative discipline and they will maltreat their children by neglect, because they are unable to enhance their child's development. So when parents find resources to meet basic needs, they ensure better resource for their children. All I'm saying here is that it is very, very good and essential as a parent, as a family, to build resilience, to have social connections. Everybody, you cannot be isolated. You need help at one point or the other. You need to reach out so that you're not isolated in your problem. If you are a church goer, reach out to your church members or to your ministers or your pastors, you call them, or your reverend or whatever you call them. That's the social gospel. They must help. That's the social welfare of all churches, to help those who are in times of challenges or needs. So don't get yourself so isolated. That's the positivity of social network. I wish you the best of the weekend, and I thank you for viewing me. For any kind of comments or feedback, look at my description link for my email. You can contact me. And not only that, I want to, if you have not subscribed yet, kindly click that subscribe button. And if you are not, put on your notification button, do it. So that anytime I release any video, either my teaching videos on Tuesdays or my video on Friday, like Friday Tonic, then you will get notified. Next Friday, I'm bringing you a kind of surprise. What I mean by surprise, I'm beginning to start and plan ahead for my platinum birthday. Stay tuned. You're loved. Thank you. God bless you all.